Okay, I'm ready. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kawasi. If you're new here, you might as well just go ahead and subscribe now because you'll love it here. If you're not new, then you know we are back with our weekly video, and this week we are doing a Q&A. I had you guys send me questions on Instagram, so be sure that you're following me on Instagram at kawasi.s, and let's get into these questions. So the first question is, what lessons have you learned since having children? And I will say a lesson that I have learned since having children is to let the small things be small. Of course, you never want to dwell on things too much, but literally once I have my kids, like, it doesn't even matter. So a lesson I've learned is to let the small things be small. Question number 2 is, how do you carve out time for yourself as a mom of 2 now? Baby, it's still a work in progress. If I'm going to answer this honestly, which I am, it's still something that I'm struggling with. When you say actually carving out the time that I have for myself now is like, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm just now getting done feeding Halo and I can't fall back to sleep, I may go run me a bath and like put on some candles or something. Or if I'm getting up super early before everybody else is up, I may have time to watch a little show that I typically wouldn't have time to do during the day. So I'm not actually carving out any time right now, but it is something that I need to be working on, because I do think it's very, very important for my mamas to, you know, have a little me time. Being a mother, you're pulled in so many different directions, so you definitely need time for yourself, and I'm gonna work on it. So the next question is, how did you go about keeping your placenta and getting past the pushback they gave? So for me, I found my company on Instagram. I ended up going with a company called Mommy Made Encapsulation. I do feel like they're the most like well-known placenta encapsulation companies, I feel like, aside from like you know, like a doula or anything of that nature. But the first thing I will say is you definitely need to have this set in stone before you have your baby, because I also had a DM about that asking, is this something you wait to do until after you have your child? And no, it needs to be set up beforehand. And once you find your company, which I'll link my company down below, of course, and put all their information down. But for starters, you need to find a reputable and credible company. Definitely read the reviews. For me, thankfully, I was able to go to their Instagram and literally see the whole process, like from start to finish. Literally them opening up you know, the medical bags, getting the placenta out, washing it down to grinding it, and literally putting it into the capsules. So I was able to see the whole process from my company's Instagram page. But if your company does not display that, definitely please make sure that you are asking questions and reading in regards to each step in their process. So that's for starters, finding a credible company. After that, of course, you know, once you make your decision, you guys will have dialogue, and you know, they'll tell you what the steps are with them. For me, originally I went through the umbrella or the parent company, and so I had already put my request in, filled out the paperwork. They had sent me the invoice because I knew that I wanted to encapsulate my placenta very early, and so I had that already done, like, so I got my invoice really, really early. And then I just happened to stumble upon a local umbrella under the Mommy Made Encapsulation. Her name is Anaya, and she is located in Cincinnati. She services Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. So because she was local, I decided, of course, to go with her. And like I said, she's still a part of Mommy Made Encapsulation, the parent company. but she's just like a little umbrella underneath. So originally with the parent company, they were going to send me a cooler that I would put my placenta in, and then I would send it back into them. But because Anaya was local, she actually comes and picks up all of her placentas. So no brainer, I'm going with her. And she was amazing. I'll link her information down below as well. And if you are in one of those states that I mentioned, I highly recommend her. And then if not, like I said, the parent company, they ship to wherever. So like I stated, Anaya came and picked up my placenta. But this is something that I do want to make known. Please have something to hold your placenta in. Like originally, like I said, they were going to ship me a cooler. When you go to the hospital, depending on your hospital, they may or may not have something to hold your placenta in. Well, they gonna have something, but if are they willing to, you know, allow you to use it, that's a different story. So just make sure you always have a backup and bring your own cooler, just in case they do tell you that you need something to store it in. Because with my son, I didn't take a cooler because I knew Anaya was coming to pick up my placenta. And so, you know, I'm telling the hospital that I'm keeping it. They're gonna keep it safe until she gets there, which they didn't have a problem keeping it, but it was a matter of me having to have something to hold it in. That is what they require. So I did have to have my sister end up coming and bringing me a cooler. So first is find a credible company. Second, make sure you have a cooler going to the hospital. And then third is, of course, letting your wishes be known and making sure everybody knows that you're keeping your placenta. So to answer the second part of the question, how did I go about the pushback, really is going to sound so cliche, but it's truly a matter of just standing your ground. Because at the end of the day, the hospital does not own your placenta, so they cannot refuse to give you something that they don't even own. So that's just really what it boils down to. With my son, they just gave me like this typical pushback, letting me know, you know, like there aren't really any proven studies to show that it really makes a difference. And then just saying like, okay, they had to check. Ultimately, okay, they bring me the paperwork and I just signed that I wanted to take my placenta home. With my daughter, because she ended up having the intrauterine growth restriction, which if you have not watched her birth story, make sure you watch it next. But with her, because she had that, they were telling me that I cannot take my placenta and that they needed to send it to pathology, which, you know, pathology is great. You know, I'm happy that they do have a department that can look further into things for situations that I feel like speak to that. In my case, with me having intrauterine growth restriction, I prayed about it and I really didn't feel that it was necessary for my placenta to go to pathology. And so the answer is no. I would like to take my placenta home. So they were really trying to deny me. I ended up also reaching out to Anaya because that's who, you know, is encapsulating my placenta. And I was just telling her what was going on. But the answer was still no. You know, it was still no. But because I didn't run into that situation before, I did just want to check with her. Like, you know, hey, I did end up having intrauterine growth restriction. And, you know, do you think that it's still okay for us to go ahead and do this? Which I do know that as long as you do not have HIV, to my knowledge, HIV or AIDS, then you can go ahead and encapsulate your placenta. Because of how they prepare it in the high heat, everything else will not stand a chance in regards to carrying on into the capsules. Because some moms I know have been discouraged about taking their placenta if they test positive for GBS, which was told to me, to my knowledge, that that has no effect on the capsules. So yes, they were trying to deny me. I'm literally telling them no, like that's fine. Whoever I need to speak to, you can go get them, because y'all do not own my placenta. It literally is coming out of me. So it's not a question of if I can take it home. All I need to know is who I need to speak to, and whatever I need to sign, I'm going to sign it because, you know, I have made the decision that I'm taking it. So I did end up having to sign a paperwork before, like I did with my son, that I was taking my placenta, and then I also signed a paper that I was going against the hospital's recommendations or whatever the case may be, which was fine. Give me the paperwork, I'm gonna sign it, and I'm gonna get what I need. So you honestly just have to stand your ground. They will implement fear tactics, for a lack of words, because that's what it is. They're trying to make you think that it's not an option, and it is. Yeah, just stand your ground, mama, and make sure you have your cooler, and you're gonna get that placenta. And before we get off of the topic of the encapsulations, I did just want to show y'all mine really quick and what it came in. So it comes in a box like this, and the actual capsules look like this. And so I have mine in bubblegum flavor. They offer so many different flavors, and they also offer vegan capsules, which I think that's amazing, especially in our days where so many people you know, are vegan. I love that that's the option. She wrote me a cute little note, and again, I went through with her 2 times. So it says, Kawasi, congratulations, mommy. I can't begin to express how grateful I am to have been a part of both of your postpartum experiences. I can relate to 2 under 2, and let me just say, it takes a strong mama. You got this. Blessings to you and your growing family. Thanks for your continued support, Anaya. So that was so cute. My little message. And then also, I forgot to say, when you're filling out your forms for getting your placenta encapsulated, they do offer like little additions, so you can get like your placenta, like they can put a little dye on it, and then they put it on the paper, and so it's kind of like a watercolor painting, and it's like a little tree. I didn't get that, but that's maybe I'll include a clip. Maybe I'll include the picture to show y'all, or y'all can just, I'm gonna link their information down below so y'all can just go see. But it's really cute. And then I did choose to get their umbilical cords made into a heart, but with both of my C-sections, they literally cut the cord right at the placenta. So she did what she could. It's supposed to be a little heart, but they literally be cutting my cord so short. That's all she can give me. But she tried, and I love her for that. It's not her fault that they just be cutting it so short, Lord. And then here is the Lord Jesus pamphlet. Here's the pamphlet that comes with it, and a few of the benefits for my mamas who don't know about encapsulating your placenta. A few of the benefits are increased energy, increased milk supply, helps prevent baby blues and postpartum depression. It replenishes your iron level. It helps reduce postnatal bleeding, reduces stress, helps you return to pre-pregnancy size faster, and faster healing and recovery from pregnancy. So I definitely can speak to all of the things that it says. The only thing is, I have had 2 C-sections, and I do not suffer with like my milk coming in. So in regards to increased milk supply, I guess I really can't speak to that because I've had good supply coming automatically. Like some mamas struggle, especially with having a C-section with their milk coming in. My milk comes in right away. So I can't really honestly speak to that. But in regards to everything else, I can attest to. I'm a believer. And these are just my honest opinions. You know, if you got your placenta encapsulated and you didn't feel any of the effects, you know, I'm not speaking to, girl, I'm not, you know, speaking against what you experienced, because those were your honest experiences. But this is just what I have experienced with getting my placenta encapsulated. I definitely feel like I have noticed a difference, especially with my son. The days that I did not take my little pink pill, I was more emotional, crying. Like, and I struggle a lot with breastfeeding with him. So y'all was crying. But the days that I didn't take my pill, I definitely noticed the difference. Like, but yeah, so that's all about encapsulating your placenta and my experience there. I love it. I love that it's a conversation now. I feel like our mothers and like previous generations, it wasn't even a topic because it wasn't even something that they knew was even an option. So I'm so thankful that now it is, like I said, a part of the conversation. The next question is, do you still engage in drinking? If so, how? I've heard that it lowers your supply. Baby, mama is gonna have her a glass of wine. You know, if I go to dinner, I'm gonna have me a little lemon drop. Thankfully, I have not experienced my supply dropping, but I do know that it's a real thing. So if you are scared, or if you find yourself, or if you find when you drink your supply does drop, I recommend getting you some body armor. Okay, keep you some on hand. I drink body armor every single day. It truly helps with my supply. But yeah, baby, have you a glass of wine. Okay, you deserve it. Have you your lemon drop, have you a little margarita, whatever it is that you would like. Just make sure you got them body armors on hand. That way you can rehydrate and make sure your supply stays up. So also another quick little tip, if you feel like your supply is dropping, feed your baby more. The more that you empty your boobs, the more your body is going to think that your baby needs to eat because your boobs are empty. So now they got to make more milk. So that's just a little tip for you, mama. Feed your baby more and your body should start to produce more milk. The next question is, did you still have to wait 6 weeks even with a C-section? Absolutely. I would truly recommend, because granted, our babies did not come out of our vaginas, so we didn't experience as much trauma down there. We've literally just been cut open. Like, no, every muscle, every layer has been cut open. So there's no core strength going on. So do you still have to wait 6 weeks? Yes, I would recommend it, truly. I mean, unless you're just gonna be laying there. But I would recommend it. I would recommend it. Now, if you feeling great, amazing, you know, teach his own. But would I recommend waiting the 6 weeks? At least 5. At least 5. The next question is my favorite thing of motherhood. So many. That's the airplane, y'all, sorry. Just excuse them. But one of my favorite things from motherhood is just being able to give my baby so much love, and in turn just receive all of their love. Like, Halo, she can't even talk, but just her waking up, smiling at me, her big eyes, like looking for me, you know, that's love. Like, she's giving me love. So that's just one of the things. The next question is, would you do 3 under 3 or wait for another kid? Baby, I would never. Oh no, actually, never say never, Lord. Never say never. But would I prefer to do 3 under 3? Absolutely not.
Not gonna happen. Never.
Honestly, I'm very content with my 2. I really am. Like, I'm thankful I've given my babies a sibling. Now, in a few years, you know, if God speaks to me and I'm in a different place, then possibly I would be more willing to have another child and go through another C-section. But right now, I'm very content. I'm so thankful. Thank you, Lord, for my daughter, for my son. And I'm blessed, okay? But 3 under 3, God gonna have to tell me that himself. He gonna have to tell me that himself, that that's what he wants from me, because no, Lord. But again, never say never, because you know I said that before and I found myself in another situation. However, right now, no, I cannot see 3 under 3. That's not something that I hope that the Lord has for me. The next question is least favorite thing about motherhood. My least favorite thing about motherhood. I don't really necessarily like that question, girl, but it's the diapers. Maybe because I'm like in the thick of it right now, dealing with 2 babies being in diapers, but I despise diapers. But it's okay because my son just turned 18 months. Yeah, the watch is getting ordered. He's getting a potty watch. He already has a potty, so you know, we're working our way. He's 18 months. Lord willing, he'll be potty trained by 2. That's my goal, which I know that this is my first time, so I'm not really sure about my time frame, but my goal is by 2 to have him potty trained. So yeah, but because 2 diapers, 2 kids in diapers, it's a lot. It would be different maybe if they was twins. No, that's a lie, but not a lie, but that wouldn't have been different. It would have been the same thing because it's still 2 in diapers. It's the diapers that I just really can't stand. And like really when I was pregnant, like smelling everything, you know, I feel like my nose still like smells everything. Even though I'm not pregnant, I still feel like I have pregnancy nose. Like, it's crazy. But it's definitely the diapers. Okay, so the next question is, if you had more kids, would you drive a minivan? Baby. And let me just say this before I answer. There's nothing wrong with a minivan. My mama, it was a lot of us, okay? My mama had a minivan. Like, there's nothing wrong with driving a minivan. But with Kawasi driving a minivan, I can't foresee that. We're gonna have to get a truck or something. But right now I'm content with my 2 anyway, so we'll be fine. That won't even be a thought or a discussion. But no, first of all, this is a funny question to me, but no, I cannot see myself driving a minivan. Which is crazy because, like I said, my mama had a minivan, so I learned to drive in a minivan. That's so funny that you asked me that. But now that I have my cars, I don't like to drive like big things. Like my mama had a truck now, and I just don't like driving it. Like, I don't like driving big things, which is so crazy because I learned how to drive in a minivan. But well, my boyfriend taught me how to drive for real. But when I would drive with my mama, it would be her minivan. So yeah. Like, girl, that question is just so funny to me. Next is your son in daycare? So no, my baby is not in daycare. He's in mama's daycare, but not like a traditional daycare. But as far as like how his week goes, we don't just sit in the house. I take him to the library 3 times a week, which I encourage all my mamas out here, please visit your local library. There's so many like educational things, and then just that interaction with other kids. Like, I love our library. So we go to the library 3 times a week. He goes outside every single day. He goes on a walk. He gets his fresh air every single day, unless it's like raining, or of course when it's snow outside. But I let my baby go outside every day because he needs that sun. He needs that fresh air. Like, he need to go outside. So I don't be playing. My baby goes outside. And then of course just incorporating like flashcards now. We go over colors, his numbers, ABCs, like all of that. So no, he's not in like a traditional daycare, but he still gets his kid-on-kid interaction, and he definitely still gets like educational things, and he's still learning. So next it asks, does your son have his own room? Does my son have his own room? Yes. Does my son sleep in his own room? No, he does not. So right now his bed is actually in our room. After I had Halo, I told y'all, which again, if you haven't watched our birth story, go back and watch it. But those first few weeks were very, very rough. He was sick. We didn't find out it was impetigo until literally 2 weeks. So initially he was sleeping with us. But after that, after he got healed and stuff, I slowly tried to like transition him in his bed. And now my baby, he sleeps in his own bed. And I'm so thankful. But he don't sleep in his own room, no. But it's okay because, you know, we're making progress. Now he's in his bed and then he's gonna slowly get to his room. So, but I'll be honest, initially, like when I had him, I wanted my baby sleeping with me. Like I didn't feel comfortable with him even sleeping by himself, let alone in his room. So no, that's probably my fault a little bit, but it's okay. Like I said, we're making progress. He's in his bed now, and then slowly I'll transition him to his room. So the last question is, how do you make time for your man? Baby, if we hear how I think we hear when you ask me this question, when the time permits itself, okay? When your babies are asleep, the time has permitted itself. So yeah. When the time permits itself is when you make time for your man, okay? But I do just want to throw this little 1-2 in here. Make sure before you find yourself trying to make time for your man or trying to make time for anybody else for that case, that you find time for yourself. And again, you know I answered my question earlier saying that I really am not carving out time for myself, which I answered truthfully. But make sure at some point you try to, before you try to please somebody else, because we here. So make sure that you're in a space to even be able to do that, and make sure you know that you're giving yourself time for you to decompress and for you to just have a moment for yourself. But then after that, and that's what type of time you want, then yes ma'am, when the time permits itself, absolutely. That wraps up all of our questions. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.